The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
Howdy, 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 everybody. I am Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and welcome again, fucking finally, to a new episode of Thespian Talk. We haven't done one since, I think, fucking January. It was the last full episode we were able to put out. I've been able to put out a couple of encore files since then, including one that just dropped Saturday night, late Saturday night. Go listen to it because there are things there I'm not talking about here. But hey. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and with me is Erin Mills, aka DubiousKhan.
Once again, welcome back to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
There you go. And we also have the cat.
What up, fam?
There you go. Oh, so it's been a few months. How the hell have you two been?
Obviously not very great if neither of us are talking.
Yeah,
I was going to let you go first.
No, I have nothing of value to contribute. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No, I've just been sick and hurt and then sick some more and really, 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 really busy trying to run an anime convention, and work is trying to kill me, and that's about the state of my life.
You should look into getting your whole body surgically removed.
I would love if I could get a return on this whole mess I've got going on. Like, the warranty, I know it's past expiration, but I really got a lemon here.
If you'll permit me to be slightly sexist pig for a moment, I believe you would be a fantastically sexy brain in a jar, cat.
Thank you. I personally welcome our future android overlords because I'm ready for the age of being able to replace any part of my body with a robot.
There you go. Oh, God, that would be so awesome.
Oh, God. As for me, it's just the same thing. I've been working 2 jobs, and the joys of working the state-run liquor store on a Saturday night.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Fortunately, last night was actually pretty nice. It was like, yes, it was busy as hell, but for once I didn't get into a fight with people over IDs, which is always what happens. It's like, oh, great. Okay. People who didn't have an ID I could take, they were like, oh, yeah, okay, thanks, sorry. And they left quietly and without argument. Whereas normally we get into a 5-minute tirade over the whole thing.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
See, out here, to get anything stronger liquor-wise than 3-2 beer, you have to go to a state-run liquor store. Every liquor store in the state of Utah is run by the Department of Alcohol. And as I like to say to people who visit from out of state or out of country who don't understand our goofy-ass liquor laws, I say, welcome to Utah, where they say you can't legislate morality, but we're damn well sure going to try.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, we are only allowed to take 4 kinds of IDs. 4 IDs. These are the only things we're allowed to take. A state-issued driver's license or ID card, which means we can take driver's licenses and ID cards from all 50 states and any U.S. territories.
Yeah.
So we can take them from Puerto Rico, Guam, whatever. We can take a military ID, and we can take a passport. That's it. We can't take anything else, even if it's something issued by the federal government. So we can't take permanent resident cards. We can't take green cards. Can't take, CCW permits, which all the 3 of these have all the information on them that a driver's license or or a passport does. But we still can't take them. I had a couple of weeks ago, we had a coworker of mine literally got yelled at for 5 minutes by a customer because she wouldn't take his son's green card because she couldn't. She wasn't allowed to.
Ooh.
And it's just like, we agree. It's like, it's one of those things where we're just like, yes, we agree. It's stupid. We don't make the rules. And just one of those things that really annoys me about the liquor store is for some reason, people act in a liquor store a way they would never act in any other store anywhere. Seriously. This was a guy who was yelling at the top of his voice over this issue, And it was just like, dude, would you act this way in the grocery store? I don't think you would. It's just like, I don't know what it is that people seem to think that just because it's a liquor store and there's no kids around, they can start acting like children. I don't know. In other news, more pleasant news, I actually did pick up, in fact, a third job.
Oh, wow.
This one, well, right now this one's only 1 day a week, and I've crunched the numbers. And if I can pick up another day doing it, then I can quit the liquor store job. I'm actually hosting trivia nights at a local restaurant. So
that sounds fun.
I'm doing that on Tuesday nights. So I'm running the whole show. I did training last week. I'm doing my first whole show this upcoming Tuesday. So that should be fun.
Yay. Oh, that seriously does sound like fun. If I'm ever in the area on a Tuesday night, I'm gonna have to come out. That's just all there is to it. I'll try and drag Ari along too if he's able to come out. It's
great. It's like basically I get like, it's a flat rate. It's a contractor position, so they don't take taxes out. So, I'm gonna have to finagle some things when tax time rolls around. But I get $60 a show, and it's about maybe 3 hours worth of work. So it's like, let's see. I can go in 2 nights a week for 6 to 7 hours at the liquor store and stand there all night and hate everybody, or I can go host a show for 3 hours and make this 2 nights a week and make the same amount of money.
Yeah. Let's see. $20 an hour for something satisfying, or less than that for something that makes you want to pretty much nuke all of humanity. I would
and never have to work on another Saturday night. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned the people like complaining about the ID thing. I actually have a story about that. Never worked at a liquor store, but we had a gas station auto shop dealie back, I think like over 10 years ago or so. And of course, we sold beer. And this guy comes in. And bear in mind, I'm at a point to where I was still kind of fresh when it came to like working convenience stores types things and all that, and I was more up and up on the books. Nowadays, if the same guy came in, I'd be like, okay, he's obviously older, but again, a little bit younger in my case, still getting that habit down, I guess is the best way to put it. And he came in, he got beer, and I asked him for his ID. Again, trying to get the habit down. He outright refused. And he even pulled the, "Do you know who I am?" Like, sir, we may live in this small town, but I have no idea who the fuck you are. I didn't say that to him, but... and it got to the point, my mother, she was working on like some books in the back or whatever. She came out and she just basically chased him out. Because, how the fuck dare you be that rude, asshole? It's also the same guy later who would decide, hey, where the best place to take a piss is going to be? Right there at the gas pump. And I don't think he used a bottle either. So.
Oh, of course I know who the hell he is. He's the guy that's going to burn your house down with the lemons.
Yeah. But, yeah, and as for me, what's been keeping me from doing pretty much almost anything, honestly, is just driving. And I'm trying to get into some sort of set scheduling thing to where I can at least have some time to at least put out one of these a week or what have you. But and it managed to go okay for 3 weeks. I wanted to give it a few weeks just to kind of get my body and my mind set. Okay, this is how it's going to be. Set up a routine, all that good shit. And then the 4th week comes around. I said, hey, need this weekend for a 34-hour restart, And full disclosure, Productions is not the only thing I need the 34-hour restarts for, which essentially is a day and a half. It's also, I drive for 2-3 weeks straight. It starts messing with my mind, and it's not pretty. I get overly stressed, well, more so than I already am. And, it's just not healthy. And I told my immediate dispatcher this, and before like that first one, and then come the 4th one I tried to put in for it, And she sends me a message back, well, I can't let you do that because you still have legal hours to run. And it's like, did you forget what I told you a few weeks ago? Apparently. Either that or she got pushed back from the higher ups, who apparently don't care about, what the health, the health of their drivers, apparently. Because, every driver is supposed to be able to drive this many hours all the time, every day, have this and this. And it's like, okay, that's fine for some. Not everybody's like that. And then she went on to tell me that she felt I wasn't fulfilling my obligations, my duties on the job. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I just drove from Laredo to Cheyenne, and then I think I was working back south somewhere, or was it somewhere further north? Either way, I had driven a good 1,000, coming up on 2,000 miles in that 1 week. I think a day and a half off per week is not too much to ask. And yes, before anybody gets in there, I know different industry, blah 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 blah, but fuck it, I don't care. Health is more important. And if you're worried, then what about all these loads? I'm pretty sure we have the people to cover them, even though the trucking industry has a turnaround rate that is, I think, higher than average, at the very least. I don't know. But, yeah, so there was all of that. And then there was the time I got stuck in Joliet for 2 weeks because my truck had to go in the shop because the trucks that we drive with our company, we have, like, the bunk heaters and, the APUs and EPUs, which there is apparently a difference. EPU is more electric. APU goes with, like, uses up fuel. And, well, mine was out. Dead of winter, up in the north. No heat. Ain't putting up with that bullshit. So we get it to Joliet because I told him, hey, I'd rather it go there. That way, at the very least, I could see Becky. And I got to see her once. But things happened that was outside of her control. That's not her fault. And I got free hotel. So that was always fun. I'm honestly, I feel ready to almost just like throw in the towel and just leave the driving for right now. But I money is important too. God damn it. Fucking capitalism, man. So yeah, that's my bitching about job related stuff this time. So yeah. In other news, apparently the whole world is also falling apart because, America elected a president who is a petulant child. And oh god, there's way too much to go over on that one, considering it's been a few months. But long story short, we're I think at this point we're throwing missiles at Syria because of Syria harming their own citizens with chemicals, I think it is. And people are just pissed and horrified. And that's where we stand now. And of course, it's all to distract from Trump actually being a naughty, naughty boy, to put it lightly. I could really work on my phrasing on that one. But, hey, Kat, I know you've been kind of keeping up on it because you do What the Fuck with Josh. How close am I? Have I missed anything on the past couple of months, at least in terms of just regular stuff that we could just pull out without having to look at a news article?
I mean, like you said, the whole world is on fire right now. I mean, there's a lot going on. It'd be hard to just pinpoint one thing.
Yeah. That is why I need to get to a point to where I can do this weekly again. Well, I say we. So, yeah.
Oh, it's all about you, Gomer.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm Gomer. I've got a podcast.
Yeah, me and like 50,000 other people on this planet, too. And speaking of podcasts, if you guys follow the YouTube channel, The D-Pad, they actually started bringing back their own old podcast format recently. It's up on iTunes. It's I think it's D-Pad After Dark, if you want to look at that. Yeah, I'm just just transitioning into the shoutouts because why not?
Sure.
So, but D-Pad After Dark, go check it out. They talk about, like a different particular video game topic every episode. This particular one, they were talking about the Switch. Go check it out. Just look for it on iTunes. I'll make sure I have a link in the doobly-doo or somewhere, either in the doobly-doo or in the Discord, because this show now has a Discord server, rather, I should say. And it's not big yet. There's not a lot of people in here. There's the three of us, of course. A few other people that are from the site and from other places as well. We come in here, we hang out, we have fun, a little bit here and there. And that's also what we're using to record this particular episode. I'm hopefully so far it's working out. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
My experience so far, it's been working a hell of a lot better than Skype.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's not a very high bar to break, though.
No, it's not. Although I did notice in the general channel Ironbite's being a little shit. Hi, Ironbite. Yes, you get a shout out on the show. We love you, man. We need it. We should bring him on at some point again. Just have him talk shit, because he's been on before, but it's been years. Oh man. So Erin, do you have any shout outs for this week in particular?
Not this week. I completely forgot we were recording today until you brought it up a couple hours ago.
Oops. That's okay. Now, of course, the big running thing is Kat usually doesn't have one. Do we have a running gag this week?
We do. I mean, my life right now is consumed by just watching Critical Role, and they don't really need a shout out because they're huge. So, I have no shout out.
Yay!
I tried watching Critical Role. I can't get into it.
Did you start with the first campaign or the second campaign?
I just started at the beginning, and I just can't get into it.
The beginning of the first campaign or the second campaign?
First campaign, I assume. I just went back to the earliest episode I could find.
You could try the new campaign, because it's same actors but new characters, and it's like the first campaign started with them halfway through the campaign that they had been playing from home, and then this one, like the new campaign, just starts from a new beginning, so it's a little bit easier to figure everybody out.
I don't mean to figure everybody out. It's just the format. I get bored watching it.
Oh,
I'm like, I know these are all very talented actors and whatnot, but I'm not getting anything out of watching somebody else play, Pathfinder or D&D or whatever it is they're playing. It's like,
I just find them exceptionally funny to watch. Okay.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that it's not doing anything for me. I understand that it must have an audience, otherwise it wouldn't be as big as it is. It's just not doing it for me personally. It's not that I think it's bad. It's just, I don't know.
Then.
Yeah.
Guess that's the end of the conversation then.
Nah. Honestly, I haven't checked it out myself. Although I've been kind of needing to check out other different shows of similar format too. I know the Adventure Zone is a big thing that Becky really enjoys. There's also, I think it is Mythical, which is one put on by the It's Super Effective guys, which is kind of a Pokemon RPG type deal that they do. Dice Funk is also another one. So it's like, I kind of want to check one of them out. I'm not sure if it would be for me. If it is, then great. If not, okay. So with that, with that, let's go ahead and head into our news stories. And Erin, you mentioned that
I want to qualify something here. I want to make it absolutely clear that by no means do I think Critical Role is a bad show at all.
Right.
It's just not for me. I feel that way about a lot of things that get really big in geek culture. Okay. I have a 30-minute video on my own YouTube channel about why I don't like Firefly. So.
And I just want to qualify that I literally don't care, and I was trying to move us into the
I
next.
will shut up then. Let's move on.
I'm not offended that we don't like the same thing. It's just that meant that we had nothing else to talk about on the topic. I'm trying to move us along.
That's okay. That's okay.
We learn things about ourselves here on Thespian Talk.
Yes, we do.
Okay, now that we're done oversharing,
yes, let's go. Let's hit the news. Now, Erin, you brought up earlier that Utah tries to legislate morality, and well, you know what? They're not the only ones. Louisiana did, and it's something that and it's to a different degree. It's one of those cases where, wait, you had to make this clear? Really? So, the state Senate has approved a bill designed to make it clear that bestiality is illegal in Louisiana. A law on the books prohibits crimes against nature, but it also outlaws so-called sodomy and was ruled unconstitutional in 2003. 15 years this is between these things. New Orleans Senator J.P. Morrill says it's important that the state has a way to arrest someone for having sex with animals. He told fellow lawmakers, "God forbid you vote against this bill. Good luck explaining it." Anybody want to guess if anybody voted against it? You guys at home, pause for a moment, take a moment, guess to yourself, think of a number.
The Jeopardy music here.
Yes. Okay. Now, you have your number? All right. I'm going to tell you. 10 senators did vote against it. 10 senators.
But why?
I don't know.
I have a theory, but you need to finish the story first before I can tell you what it is.
Okay. The measure does also specify that previously illegal forms of sodomy are no longer against the law. Anal sex intercourse between two human beings shall not be deemed as a crime, part of the bill states. The measure now heads to the House of Representatives. Go ahead, Erin.
That's the reason why I think 10 of those senators voted against it.
Yep, because no, we don't want to fuck our piggies. We just don't want people to be putting things in the poopers.
That's exactly it. They didn't want the old sodomy laws to change.
Here's the funny thing. Back when I was in college, around the mid to late
this is a great start to a story.
No. It's not that exciting. I have not now, nor have I ever
experimented in college. Please continue.
Actually, that's actually true. Anyway, no, it was the weirdest thing. I discovered this when I was in college, that at that time, which was around 1994, 1995, I discovered that Utah was, in fact, the only state that had anti-bestiality laws on the books at that time.
Yeah?
And I thought about it, and me and my friends all said the same thing when we discovered this. Was it really that much of a problem?
Well...
The answer is always yes.
Well, just remember, until recently, the only anti-bestiality thing Florida had on the books was specifically for porcupines. And the reason why they didn't get around to a vote later is because they didn't want to talk about it because kids might be in the hall. Get the damn kids out of the hall, duh!
Nobody has needed an anti-bestiality law more than Florida.
I know! You got the crazy meth heads in Central Florida, and you got the crazy bath salt snorters in South Florida, and then you got the rednecks up here.
Everyone is Florida man.
Yes.
Protect the animals, please.
Now,
Yes.
I will say that nobody in the United States needs an anti-bestiality law more than Florida. I would argue worldwide, nobody needs an anti-bestiality more than Australia, since just about everything will kill you down there.
Yeah? Oh, dear.
But they're not trying to fuck all those things.
I don't know. We might have to get an Australian on here. Somebody take Soundbite. Somebody get Soundbite on the show, please.
Oh God! You know we do have an Aussie on the site, and she's been like, hey, put me on the show, put me on, and I actually need to work out timing with her, but
I would say everything in Australia is trying to fuck you, not the other way around.
yeah, pretty much.
but like not in a literal sense.
Yeah. Oh, lordy. But so we go from here to Oklahoma City.
Where the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
Thank you.
Hey, look, theater stuff for the thespians.
Yes.
I hate Rogers and Hammerstein.
Whoa, them's fighting words on this show.
Oh my.
What? I was a theater geek as well, and unfortunately, there's certain stuff that I can't stand, and just about everything by Rogers and Hammerstein I hate.
Yeah, me too.
I can take.
If I have to hear you try being on a class trip, camping trip, and being woken up at 2 a.m. and kept up for 3 hours by the girls in the next tent singing "I Am 16, Going on 17" incessantly.
Jeez.
I know. I'd rather just die. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, is there a bar around here? Yeah. Okay. So, Oklahoma City. The U.S. Marshal Service says a woman's obituary helped agents capture her fugitive son, I can read, nearly 4 decades after he escaped from an Oklahoma prison. The agency says 58-year-old Stephen Michael Paris was arrested without incident Thursday at an office in Houston where he worked under a pseudonym. The agency says investigators tracked him down in Texas after a newspaper obituary for his mother listed a son in Houston named Stephen Michael Chavez. Fingerprints confirmed his identity. Okay, so all you did was change your last name. That's a sucky pseudonym if you're hiding from the law. Okay, so Paris escaped from the Just Done Correctional Center in Muskogee, Oklahoma in October of '81. He escaped after serving about 19 months of a 9-year sentence for drug possession and distribution. He was also featured on the Oklahoma Department of Corrections Most Wanted list. Yeah, if you were going to criminal, not that you should, we do not...
Criminal better than that.
Yes. Change your name to something else. Keep your
Well,
name
wait a
harder.
minute.
Crime
Hang on.
Mhm.
You say it's a stupid alias.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, he eluded the authorities for 40 years under that alias.
Oh, that's true.
This is true. This is very true. Just...
That's
wow.
an excellent point.
Yeah, and I'm willing to bet he told his mother where he is, because of course you're going to tell your mother where you are, because why not? Everybody's a mama's kid in the end. And she likely forgot, oh shit, wait, he is on the run from the law. He's in Houston. You know, or whoever was responsible for the obituary, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But still, the information got to this person, and they didn't realize, oh shit, he's on the most wanted list. Fuck! So, yeah. That's just, like, hey, 40 years later, I wonder what they're gonna do with him. Like, is he gonna, he's what, he's 58? Let's say about 8-year sentence. I mean, would they do that? Would they put him in jail for the rest of his life? Article never said, so I have no idea.
They might.
Yeah. Just again, if you're gonna criminal, don't just be a little bit more cautious. Granted, 40 years is a good run. Still, maybe everybody gets caught in the end when they do some illegal shady shit, no matter how much they whine and bitch about it on Twitter. So, to continue on with an Oklahoma reference, Kansas City, where everything is not as up to date as you think.
Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay, KC. No, not KCK.
Yeah.
It's a border city. It's a big deal in Missouri.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So one family from the...
You should have been ready for that. You should have been ready for that, Gomer.
Yeah, I should have.
If you said something stupid about Utah, I'd be all over your ass on that too.
Well, although Utah does have a place called Beaver.
Yep, we do.
We
also have a town, which I love doing this. I did this on Twitter years ago. I said we have a town in Utah called, and this is how it's spelled, Hurricane. And if you saw that written down, you just mispronounced it correct. You just pronounced it incorrectly because it is not pronounced hurricane. It is pronounced hurricane.
Yep.
That's the kind of shit we do in Missouri.
Yeah. Oh, lordy.
Anyway.
So, Kansas City, Missouri. One family from the city's south side is boiling mad after her daughter's teacher allegedly showed an inappropriate photo in class. Uh-oh. Dominique Jones, a mother of 3, says she's complained to the administrators at Dobbs Elementary School after her 11-year-old daughter's claim that her teacher showed a lewd photograph on the classroom projector. Leaders within the Hickman Mills School District tell local news the accusation is under investigation. Like it should be. The picture speaks for itself. It shouldn't have been shown, Jones told local news on Thursday. Her daughter, Amelia Winston, is a 5th grader at the school, having transferred into that district this year. Winston said the teacher, whose name could not be confirmed by district leaders, has shown the photo to his class on 2 occasions. The first is said to have occurred on March 27th, and the students were upset by what they saw. Jones said she didn't believe her daughter at first. I have to admit, it's just like other things. Sometimes something happens, and it's like, that it's hard to swallow. You don't disbelieve, but it's hard to swallow. She was coming home and telling me, and I was like, no, Jones said. However, Amelia had her cell phone ready on April 3rd when the second alleged incident happened. She snapped an image of the projected image, which depicts 7 women who are naked from the waist down, standing in row on a stage. The women's posteriors are easily visible within the photograph. Insert your references to ass here. The cell phone picture Amelia Winston took, I swear, of the lewd photo her teacher showed in the class. Okay, apparently that was a thing to something and I forgot to take that out. I add it good. I showed her proof. I sent the photo to her, Amelia said. It looked nasty and inappropriate for that school. Amelia said other children snapped a photo of the projected image while the teacher was outside the classroom, having left the photo on the unattended projector. Oh my god.
Out of curiosity, what was the photo supposed to be? Like, I've got a visual in my head, but what was the context of why he was showing it?
I don't even. It's just...
Yeah, I'm skimming the rest of the story. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about the context that we have here.
Because, you know, like sometimes in art class, you see photos that involve nudity or something because it's part of a piece of art or something. And, you know, and then people get upset about it, but it's art, so it's okay. And that's a weird line to walk on. But I was really just wondering, like, was this something that completely didn't make any sense for the teacher to be showing? Was it just like, oh, this is the background in his computer and that's what's popping up on the screen? I'm so confused.
Yeah, just... I think I heard at one point somebody speculated that this one was like, at least at one point, an accidental showing from his phone or something that got onto the projector or something. It's been a while since I've been in a public elementary school. I don't know how they work anymore. You know, so if it was something like that, one time, yeah, that would be an accident, sure. But twice? Really? Either you're really, really stupid and inept, or you're just getting off on showing children pictures of ass, and in a non-artistic sense. I mean, and you know, now if it is like Kat said, you know, if it was like an artistic endeavor thing or whatever, then that's fine, sure. But from the sounds of it, it's probably not. But there is a text that was sent from the superintendent, that was sent home. The safety and security of Dobbs Elementary The safety and security of Dobbs Elementary students is always a top priority for both school and district administration. It is for this reason we take all concerns very seriously and keep parents informed. Shortly before school was dismissed on Wednesday, April 11th, we were notified of possible inappropriate behavior involving a teacher. This conduct did not involve contact with students. Good. It's a weird and bad day and age when you have to take every shred of good from a story like this. Once informed, administration from human resources was immediately involved, and an investigation is being conducted. A substitute teacher has been placed in the classroom until further notice. Please know we take your student safety seriously and will follow all protocols and policies to ensure we provide a healthy, safe, and rich learning environment for your student. If you have any concerns, contact interim principal, blah, 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 blah. So, at the very least, the school is like, hey, we're going to try and look into this shit. I mean, it does, I think it's something they have to send out anyway, no matter what, but hopefully they'll get to the bottom of this and figure out why the hell this guy decided, hey, I have all these pictures of ass here. Let's show it to these kids because they're growing children. They're about to go through puberty. Let's help them along. No. And I will say I am somebody who, when I have kids, I'm one of those guys that I'm not going to get bent out of shape if I catch one of my kids looking at porn, but neither am I going to outright go and show it to them either. So, they find your own damn shit. But this, and I say that to qualify that this guy, again, I'm going on the assumption he's doing this on purpose for whatever reason, for whatever non-artistic reason. This guy, he's just fuck off. Kat, do you have any extra thoughts on this one?
Not really. It sounds to me like we don't have enough information for me to make a full, clear judgment. I also don't think that nudity is inherently bad, but it is inappropriate in the school setting for many cases. So don't do that.
Yeah. Erin?
I just like Kat said, it's like this is not a very well researched article. I need context. I got to know what the hell the actual situation is here. Yes,
we want to judge people. We want to judge people. We just want to judge them fairly.
Yeah. We're fine. If it turns out this guy is showing shit he shouldn't be showing, then yeah. But if there's some other, I can't imagine. Now, admittedly, I can think of really offhand, no context that this would actually be a good thing to be showing fifth graders. But I can't make a call on this one. I can't really get outraged, and I can't really defend it either. It's just one of those things. It's like, I'm sorry, I actually do need more information, and this isn't in the usual internet nonsense. Well, you should listen to both sides of this. Fuck off. No, this is literally something where we are missing key points of information that I personally would need to make a judgment on this.
All right, fair. That's fair. and hey, if some other information comes out, hey, I would be interested to hear it. As I'm sure you two would as well, because But I also agree with Kat that there is a time and a place for nudity. School is not it, especially not in elementary school. Yeah.
I mean, I guess middle school and high school, the only appropriate place for nudity is in the locker room, but even then.
Yeah. So from there we go north to, I'm presuming, Montana, because that's the only place I know that has Helena. Or Helena. I think they pronounce it Helena, but, whatever. A 32-year-old Helena man is accused of stealing a 2007 Dodge Ram along with tools that were in the back of the truck at the time. Marshall Brad Rowe is being charged with theft. Well, okay. I mean, that happens too often. Why is it on this show? Officers received a report of a stolen vehicle on February 20th. The vehicle was left running outside of a grocery store and was taken while the owner went inside for a few minutes, according to court documents. A witness later said that Rowe would have ran over his own mother to get out of there, according to court documents. After an investigation and tips from Helena residents, officers connected Rowe to the stolen vehicle, which was discovered in Missoula, with Rowe inside, according to court documents. Rowe told Missoula officers that he had borrowed the vehicle from a friend and denied knowing it was stolen, according to court documents. Let me think. Who would you believe? Okay, you have the one guy saying one thing, and then you have, I'm presuming, multiple witnesses saying, and the owner of the Dodge Ram saying, no, this shithead took my car. I don't know. I'm bound to believe the people who actually saw him pull his shit. Because it's like, yeah, you're kind of screwed there, buddy. And also, who also leaves their car running, anywhere nowadays? I mean, I live in Graceville, and we don't do that here, or at least like me personally and my folks, we don't do it here. But I'm also a military brat. I've grown up in larger cities. That's kind of drilled into our heads. Living in Indianapolis, living in San Antonio, just you don't do that. Even in small town Graceville. And even that being said, still that nowhere near excuses Roe. Because yeah, fuck you, dude. Erin, you got any thoughts?
Aside from the fact that I almost did a double take, this really isn't that weird of a story for this show. Damn it. Hang on a second. I just lost the story. Damn it.
No.
Anyway, no, what I originally thought when I read it was when it said the guy's name, what is it? Hang on. I got it back. Just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marshall Brad Rowe. I actually thought for a minute, holy shit, did a county marshal steal somebody's truck? That's what I originally thought.
That would have been a great story.
Yeah.
That would have been a great story. But otherwise, yeah, nothing really weird. Just, some dude taking advantage of another dude.
Yeah.
Not really. I have high standards for stupid criminal stories on this program. This does not meet those standards at all.
Yeah.
Waiter, can I get another one, please? This one's not good. Not at all. I demand a dumber criminal doing a more extreme thing. Preferably without pants. Can I get a stupid criminal without pants, please?
Preferably from the Florida stock, if you have it available this season.
There you go. Oh. Yeah, admittedly, looking through FARC, when I was looking through getting all these, there's a lot of them on FARC that are just like, okay, with the world on fire as it is, it's like, trying to find lighter fare sometimes, it could be a little bit of a pain in the ass. And
actually, you know what? Can I just interject, because I just spotted this on Twitter.
Okay, go ahead.
Tara from What the Fuck Is Wrong With You just retweeted this. Apparently, in the Kensington wine rooms in London, they just put up a plaque to Donald Trump. But here's what the plaque says.
Oh, shit.
Donald Trump got into trouble here when a chat over wine turned to Russian hacking.
Oh, whoa! Oh, shit.
I will retweet that myself at Shallow15 on Twitter, so you can go see it for yourselves. And I'm sure Gomer will retweet it after that. I am retweeting now.
There you
and
go.
And done.
Yes.
But I saw that and I'm like, oh yeah, we need to we have to talk about that.
Yes. So many.
That's good Schadenfreude.
Yes. So, and yeah. Oh wow. So I take it. Okay. With this obviously weak sauce story. Do you have any additional thoughts, Kat, before we move on?
Negative, I do not.
Okay. So you wanted somebody doing something stupider. I don't know if lack of pants is involved, but now the person this starts out with is not the stupid one, but whoever. We'll get to the story. Julian Turner, a collector of retro video games, went to a market earlier this month and bought some old NES games, like you do. When he got home, he discovered that he'd got more than he paid for. 2 of the cartridges were packed with illegal drugs. Because if you're going to smuggle drugs, you smuggle them in some NES cartridges, which if you've never looked inside of an NES cartridge, they're mostly hollow. There's like the memory board and the chipset or whatever that's right there at the bottom with a connector. The rest of it's hollow. So there's a lot of room to put some shit in there. The two games in questions were roller games and golf. Alarm bells started ringing when Julian realized the copy of roller games was a PAL version, PAL being European and Australian, which isn't something you'd see every day at a flea market in Georgia. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I mean, there's a retro store in Marianna, Florida, about 30 miles from me, that I think they have a fully functional Famicom. So it's possible. And those who don't know U.S. geography, Georgia is right next to us. So, after then noticing the cartridges felt heavier in the hand, Turner weighed them on digital scales and found both games were around 50% heavier than they should have been. He had other copies of both games on hand to compare. So he unscrewed the backs of both games to investigate, opened them up, and found 4 shiny plastic bags. After opening those, he called the cops. And the article, bear in mind, this was found on Kotaku, and the article writer is waiting to hear back what kind of drugs are in the bags. And the dude filmed his pickups as well. So you got to see him open this up to check inside in real time. So, oh shit. Officers from the Newman police department answered the call to come investigate. You see them visiting in the time lapse at the end of the video. If you click on the article, you'll be able to get to the video. But it's clear this wasn't a fresh transaction. Those drugs had been in there a while if they had found their way to a market. Interestingly, while poking around his circumstances online, Julian learned of another copy of Golf that a collector found to be stuffed with $5,000 in bills dating back to 1985.
Wow.
Holy
this is a great
shit.
Story.
Yeah. Like, people using NES games to smuggle drugs. Oh, wow.
This sounds like fan fiction.
This is
Oh my god.
Oh.
This is the subplot Ready Player One needed.
Yes!
I mean, it literally sounds like a really shitty plot to a really terrible movie or comic book or something written by a video gamer who somehow will now get caught up in some sort of mob boss's life and fall in love with the mob boss's daughter who's super, super hot. Like, we could do a whole thing with this, guys. This could be really fun. And it has to be set in the 80s. So
definitely.
that we can have shoulder pads and really big sunglasses and terrible, terrible hair.
And a kick-ass soundtrack.
Yes. With David Hasselhoff.
Oh.
This is our Kung Fury, guys.
David Hasselhoff is the drug lord. David Hasselhoff is the drug lord.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He'd do it too. You know he would.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He could break out the same personality he did when he did Jekyll and Hyde on Broadway.
Ooh.
And by the way, I know Hasselhoff's a joke, but he was actually really damn good in Jekyll and Hyde on Broadway.
There we go. Oh god, just yeah. And I'm so trying to find a way to snark this in with a Billy Mitchell reference, because his ass is on the hook for basically cheating in video game world record setting.
But are we all really surprised? All you have to look at him in interviews. He's one of the most arrogant sons of bitches I've ever seen.
Yeah, I started learning more about him because one of my Facebook friends is more intimate with the details and everything, and has actually been attacked by his people, like not necessarily like physically, but trolls and all that shit. So yeah, I got some deeper looks into that one. It's like, yeah, nobody's surprised. And once Billy Mitchell's records once he was banned and records were stricken, there was a lot of booze going around. Let's just say that. So all right. We got one more. I put it in here just in case we needed to go for the time. Not go for the time, but if we had time for it. And looks like, yeah, we got a little bit of time for it. This is one that I just, for a little bit of inside background here. For us personally, I just put it in our file. I didn't even copy pasta the whole thing, but it's an article posted by kqed.org. It's one of the NPR PBS affiliates. In fact, this was linked through NPR's Facebook page. So it's titled, "What Happens to Student Behavior When Schools Prioritize Art?" Which I think we all can agree here. Schools could use more art programs. And not just your physical art, not just your digital art, but the fine arts. Your performance arts, like your theater, your music, etc. It's been almost 20 years. I think it's like 17 years since I graduated from my local high school. And as far as I know, there's no drama department back. I think they have a show choir. I think they still have the marching band, but they don't have a drama department, which really saddens me, because the woman who is running the drama department went to go teach at another school, and they never replaced her. So anyway, they do have an excerpt which I'll read a little bit here. There's more room to make changes within the current education system than many people think. Schools operate as they do not because they have to, but because they choose to. They don't need to be that way. They can change, and many do. Innovative schools everywhere are breaking the mold of convention to meet the best interests of their students, families, and communities. As well as great teachers, what they have in common is visionary leadership. They have principals who are willing to make the changes that are needed to promote the success of all their students, whatever their circumstances and talents. A creative principal with the right powers of leadership can take a failing school and turn it into a hotspot of innovation and inclusion that benefits everyone it touches. Take Orchard Gardens Elementary School in Roxbury, Massachusetts. 10 years ago, Orchard Gardens was in the doldrums. By most measures, it was one of the most troubled schools in the state. The school had 5 principals in its first 7 years. Each fall, half of the teachers did not return. Test scores were in the bottom 5% of all Massachusetts schools. The students were dissatisfied and unruly. There was a constant threat of violence. Students weren't allowed to carry backpacks to school for fear they might use them to conceal weapons, and there was an expensive staff of security guards costing more than $250,000 a year to make sure they didn't. Remember, this was an elementary school. And also, I note, this is the kind of schools that the NRA hopes to achieve. Yeah, don't think that was going to get away from me. Principal number 6, Andrew Bott, arrived in 2010. People had told him that becoming principal at Orchard Gardens would be a career killer. He knew its reputation as one of the worst performing schools in Massachusetts, and admits that when he arrived, it did feel like a prison. He had a radically different solution to its problems, which shocked many observers. He decided to eliminate the security staff altogether and invest the money in arts programs instead. The school was enlisted as one of 8 pilot schools for a new plan created by President Obama's Committee on the Arts and Humanities, or PCAH. In the next 2 years, Bott replaced 80% of the teachers and recruited others with special expertise in the arts, teachers who believed in his new vision for the school. This was a far better investment, said Bott, than spending $250,000 on 6 people to chase a few kids around who are misbehaving. Together, they introduced strong systems to support students and individuals. They lengthened the school day and started a data-driven approach to school improvement, from monitoring attendance to test scores. And they focused on reinvigorating the school culture as a whole. They bought instruments, invited artists to come into school to work with the children, and ran creative workshops for the teachers and parents. The arts classes gave the students fresh enthusiasm for learning, and the walls and corridors were soon covered with displays of their work, which itself created a more stimulating environment and sense of ownership by the children. Kids do well, Bott said, when you design and build a school that they want to be in. Having great arts programs and athletics programs makes school an enjoyable place to be, and that's when you see success. There is a couple of paragraphs more, but I don't want to read up the entire article here. But I've got to say, I agree. I see nothing wrong with this. Especially now with the Parkland shooting still relatively fresh in our minds, and these students coming up and wanting some kind of, sensible gun control. key term there, sensible gun control. No ban, except for assault rifles. But I'm going off kilter here. Point is, even without these issues of gun control or what have you, all of these schools can do better with money being spent on arts programs. I mean, I think, obviously I'm a product of arts programs, both in high school and in college, and I know all three of us have done at least some form of theater in throughout our lives, whether it's through school or otherwise. And quite honestly, I'm speaking for myself here, but I'm pretty sure Kat and Erin will agree. It's done us better, honestly, because I know, and speaking from my own personal experience, every time I've done a show, oh God, it's been since 2010. Oh God, no one. That's what that nagging feeling is. The last time I was on there, and I knew I entertained an audience, that feeling is so great. You get the feeling like you've accomplished something, that you've done more than just, oh, you did this work for 8-10 hours a day and you get paycheck. Yeah, the money's good, but it's not as satisfying as knowing you made other people happy, or maybe you made other people think. And we should be teaching kids to be able to do this, through the arts. And he meant, the principal said athletics programs too. And while I obviously never got into athletics, never played football or anything, I understand that there's a place for that too. I think we can have both. And I think this principal has that right idea. So if you have a local arts program, your local theater, whether, whether it's just community theater, whether it's a school theater, throw some money at them if you can. Support them. Go see their shows. Tell them, hey, you guys are doing great, especially when it's a high school or a college or even an elementary school doing something like this. I want to see us encourage these kids and older doing things like this, because the benefits so far outweigh any issues. Erin, I'm pretty sure you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah. It's encouraging, and I'm glad you found this story, so we're not ending on something, terrible for a change. There's a lot of talk all the time, especially amongst the people, what I call the logic drones. Mm-hmm. The people who on Twitter always have to get into an argument and insist that everything has to be strictly logical. And, well, if you look at the logic of it, I don't have to look at shit. Yeah. The simple fact of the matter is that you can focus on the basics. You can focus on the 3 R's, as they are known, the reading, writing, arithmetic, which, in itself is a stupid statement since arithmetic starts with an A. But the problem is that, you can have all that stuff and you can focus on stuff like STEM and whatnot, which we need more focus on as well, because as has been noted over the last decade or so, there's a rising streak of anti-intellectualism in this country. Mm-hmm. But it's no good having a society that can have all that if all we're going to be is fucking worker drones. That's what the arts are for. The arts are what you live for. Yeah. The sciences the sciences help you live. The arts are what you're living for. And the gradual elimination of arts programs, which has been going on for a while, as school budgets have gotten lower, it's the stuff that's easier to cut because, we'll cut arts programs, we'll cut drama and art and music, but God forbid we, or reduce the costs for that. That's when the PTA starts raising holy hell, is when you touch the precious sports. But, understandably, I'm not saying we need to cut sports either. Right. Because I see the value in those too. There's plenty of kids, that's where their talents lie, is in the athletic fields. And I just think we need to have at all. I mean, everybody wants to talk about giving these kids a well-rounded education. Well, art's part of that education.
Yeah.
So, so good on this guy. I'm a little curious about how they lengthened the school day, about how long are we talking here? That's what I would like to know, especially since it's an elementary school. But, what do I know? Maybe the days have gotten shorter since I was in elementary school back when dinosaurs ruled the earth. If you're a new listener to Thespian Talk, let me point out that I am probably the oldest member of the three of us. I am in my 40s, so
you are.
It's yeah.
Get off my lawn. We're not young.
Get off my lawn. I'm gonna go yell at the clouds now. Anyway. But yeah, good on this. And yes, we need more arts programs in school. Just the idea has been going on again, fucking capitalism, that the only thing of any value is stuff that makes you money is really fucking backwards thinking and is embodied by our current, getting back to our current commander-in-chief, the idiot in the White House, who basically everybody's like, how can he do this? I'm like, it's simple. That's all he's ever known. It's basically, if it doesn't make money, it has no value. That's why he's ranting against the post office right now, aside from his pissing contest with Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you need a true example of why we need people to start valuing art, I can point at the White House and the idiot in chief. So, there you go.
Yeah. So we'll also to our. Actually, the youngest of the three of us, Kat.
Oh, God.
I'm in the middle. Holy shit.
I'm not young. So it's really sad. It's just a bunch of us 30 pluses bitching about kids these days.
Yeah. So I'm
bitching more about adults these days than
yeah.
kids these days. The kids are all right, as the song says.
The kids are all right. Yeah. I was very fortunate to go to, both fortunate and unfortunate. I went to the largest school in my county, which meant that we hadn't eliminated any programs yet, because we had so many kids to throw at all the different programs. And we had not that much money, but what money we did have, some of it got allocated for the arts, but not enough, never enough. And you're right, like what was important to the school was the stuff that made them money. Like all the other clubs I was in, I did literary magazine, I did newspaper, I was in band. Everything that we did, we had to sort of fund ourselves. We had to produce something in order to sell something, in order to fund it. And of course, all the sports, they had to do their own fundraisers and stuff. But they brought that prestige, when you have a really good football team year after year, when you're state champ over and over, and people actually want to come to your matches or your games or whatever. So my school did really good, and we were state champs in wrestling and football. So we had this sports prestige that no other group, no other sport could match. So no other sports, or definitely not the arts, none of them really mattered that much, even though, in theater, we went to, all kinds of really cool stuff. It never mattered. Our efforts always went unsung, but the important thing was that we did have the opportunity, that we were given the chance. In my high school, we painted murals on the walls. I didn't, but the art classes did, and we had choir concerts and band concerts, and we had like 4 bands in just my high school, because we had like concert band, marching band, a jazz band, and a steel drum band.
Wow.
Like there was a lot of opportunity, and that's what's really important, I think, for young people of every age, is to have the opportunity for self-expression, whether it be or through the arts, just to be able to do something that is your own and achievement, not just on tests, because everybody's shit at tests or shit in class. Everyone
struggles with school in some way. And it's really, really important to give somebody, these young people, a choice. Like, here's a bunch of different clubs you can join. Pick one where you think you're going to fit in and do something magical with that. Something that's all you, because you don't have a lot of choice in school about what classes you take. And everybody finds difficulty with some class or another. So you're always forced into a hard place that stresses you out, and it makes an already difficult time of your life even more difficult. And the arts are where you are given the chance to make a choice and shine. And I think that's a really, really healthy thing. And the more that we take that away, the harder and harder school becomes. And again, like, none of us were social butterflies in school. We all had a hard time at some point in time or another. Mm-hmm. Like, high school, middle school are shitty times. They are really shitty times, because you haven't found yourself yet, and you don't know who you're supposed to be or how to achieve anything, really. And children can be kind of miserable sometimes to one another. And it's just a hard time. And if you can do anything to make that time easier so that young people grow into better, more responsible adults, then why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't we throw money at such a thing? Why dump all of your money into security when you can make your school safer by having healthier students?
Yeah. Yeah, that just definitely, yeah. So to wrap up, throw money at the arts. No matter whether it's your local art scene or just support some artists on Patreon. I mean, I know Erin and I both, we have Patreons you can throw money at if you want. And there are plenty of people just on my site alone. Well, I say my site, the site alone, that have Patreons. And, they could use a little bit of help too. Because, arts are important. And in a technical sense with like video production, even podcasts, you may even be able to see it as art if you want. Your mileage may vary on that, and that's fine too. But even outside of podcasts, again, Erin and I both, we do video work. And I'm even thinking of trying to my hand at doing animations. In my particular case, sprite animations. I actually have a little test animation on my YouTube channel to give you guys a taste of what I mean. And, things like that should really be supported. And I'm honestly glad to see the YouTube animators getting a lot more ground over the past year among all of the other YouTube artists that are out there, musical, etc., because it shows that there is genuine interest in the arts, and we're not going to live forever. And it is nice to see what it honestly is, a new generation of artists and animators coming up, because I remember when I first started watching internet animations and everything, it was like Neurotically Yours and different sprite animations you can find on Newgrounds, and now you have a whole new fresh batch. You have the Odd Ones Out, Jaden Animations, Let Me Explain Studios, that all could really use your support. So if go support them. Support all the artists you really like, even if all you can do is just share their stuff, share it on your social media, subscribe to them on YouTube if they're on YouTube, which these shows I'm also going to be putting up on a dedicated Thespian Talk channel. I think that link's in the doobly-doo, I'm not sure, but to try and get it a little bit more out there. If you see them put some artwork online, retweet it. If you want to share it with other people, credit them. Because the whole idea of art in general is important, and we all, everybody benefits from it. I mean, hell, look at movie sales. People are benefiting from art already. We take in art. Some of it is popcorn fare fluff, but it's still art in some degree. It's just not very deep. But art is art. And I want to see this continue on for as many generations as I can live through, which may be only one or two. I don't know. That depends on how you define a generation. But schools are a big part of that. So to this principal, to what was his name? Andrew Bott. Keep up the good work, man. So this article that has the excerpt from this book. The book is called "You, Your Child, and School: Navigate Your Way to the Best Education" by Sir Ken Robinson, PhD, and Lou Aronica, which was published just last month. You can go and check it out. I'm sure it has a lot more there. I'm probably going to go pick it up myself. So yeah. With that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. All of the links, I'm debating whether I want to start a dedicated Discord channel just to archive them or just keep putting them into doobly-doo. I'll figure that out by the time this goes up, by the time this goes live. So yeah, so self-promotion. Erin, if we wanted to find you on the internet, where could we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/DubiousKhan, DubiousKhan. I'm also on Twitter @Shallow15, SHALLOW15. And as always, my stuff, even though once again I am way behind in uploading them, to the site @rtgomer.com.
Don't feel too bad. You're not the only one who's really behind on stuff. But so
good going, fearless leader.
Yeah, good going, me. Yeah. So, Kat, if we wanted to find you on the internet, where could we find you?
You can find my social medias on Twitter @LabyrinthCat and Facebook.com/NerdistCat. And my other podcast over with Josh Hadley called What the Fuck over on 1201beyond.com. And you can find my other podcast where I swear I don't talk about depressing news stories. Nerd to the Third Power, which is over on YouTube and iTunes and This Week in Geek.
Yay! And if you want to find my stuff, you can find me on rtgomer.com. Yes, that is the site. And you can find me on the social medias, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, @Gomer21XX. Also, Instagram now. I finally gave in and got an Instagram because there are some people that I really admire that I want to follow on Instagram that put up some really cool material there. I had another thing that I thought I wanted to put out there. Oh, right, Nerdvice. I am still a part of nerdvice.com. I think I don't know how active everybody is. It might be the same way as us, but we'll find all of that out. People are saying sites like ours, aggregate sites, might be going the way of the dodo, and I kind of want to prove them wrong, honestly, but who knows? But yeah, you can find all of our stuff at those places. And again, this show does have its own YouTube channel, and there is a Discord if you want to come in, say hello. We do have channels where you can submit some news stories. We might use it for the show. It'll just depend on timing and everything else. So yeah, that is going to be it for this time. I am going to do my damnedest to make sure that this becomes a more regular thing, whether or not I am at home or whether I am on the road. So until next time, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with Erin Mills, a.k.a. DubiousKhan, and the Cat, signing off.
Thespian Talk is an RT Gomer Productions presentation. Our show's theme is Kick Shock by Kevin MacLeod. Find out more at incompetech.com. If you like this show and want to help support future episodes, head over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX. For a contribution as little as $1 per production, you can get early access to all future productions, as well as monthly Patreon-only vlogs and announcements. Our show's artwork was produced by the talented Becky Hopkins, who can be commissioned by going to patreon.com/BeckyHop. Check us out on iTunes or visit rtgomer.com for more great shows.